This is Spartan 27!
And apparently, the media doesn't know the difference between toxic fans and passionate fans. They all think all the fan bases are the same because they can't tell about the fans. So if anybody watches World Class Bullshitters and that Star Wars Girl, Geeks and Gamers, and Mindless Entertainment, they'll all know the story behind what happened with The Last Jedi and everybody else involved with it. And Disney not being professional enough, and Ryan Johnson calling people man babies, man childs, little kids in their basements, and all those fun names. And then J.J. Abrams calling people, saying, "Oh, you're afraid of women if you hated The Force Awakens." That's a load of fun. What we actually don't like is being called names, and we're not afraid of women. We're not afraid of minorities, and just absurdly of all, I'm actually black. What we're actually afraid of is bad writing. There's a difference between bad writing and good writing. And so far, Star Wars Episode 8 is an example of bad writing, forced in identity politics, empowering women, hashtag respect women or else you'll get raped and stuff. And then you'll get called for rape cases. And also other stuff.
What about Mary Sue's?
Oh yes, the great SJW Mare Sues. Those are fun to listen to because they're the Mary Sues, or Gary Stews, Marty Stews, and other stuff. Shows it's the SJW versions. Show them being flawless, perfect, and don't need no man or women, whichever one you're on. Remember Gary Stews. I'm not sure one of those two things. Like Ray, she's definitely one of those Mare Sues because she literally knows how to use the Force. And with a lightsaber, by the way, Luke only taught her like 2 lessons in 2 days, so that doesn't count, my dude. And the first lesson what he taught her was that Jedi need to die. Even Mark Hamill didn't like Luke Skywalker. In fact, called him Jake Skywalker. Ooh. So if Mark Hamill isn't pleased, then neither should any of us fans should be pleased because we didn't like him and neither did he. But Ryan Johnson's like, oh no, we need to subvert their expectations. Because man babies, that's why.
What's a man baby?
Ooh, I don't know, the guy who 40-year-old white straight male or black straight male living in their basements and complaining how sexist they are. Sexist. That word just gets thrown around like banana peels at a race, or mushrooms, or even worse yet, what about one of those turtle shells at Mario Kart race? That's the word sexist for you. Don't like the Star Wars movies? Sexist. Don't like the script? Racist. Don't like women? Quote unquote like women. Rapist. Ooh, you be called an ist for anything you hate. And also, don't forget, the actual fans who are criticizing it aren't actually toxic. They're just passionate, my dudes. They're criticizing a film that they think should be better. What are my expectations for episode 9? Well, I'm hoping it to be a good movie. We don't have a list of stuff that we expect. Empire Strikes Back, for example. Oh yeah, little green thing. Yeah, I guess that he has to be there. I gotta like him too. That's not a list that we have in our pockets, hoping like, oh, Luke Skywalker better be a great Jedi. Oh yeah, he has to get his arm cut off. Don't forget that. Oh yeah, he has to find out that Vader's his father. Oh. So that's not a lot of fun, guys. Don't forget that. And then later we'll talk about actual toxic fans because the media doesn't know what toxic fan is, so they just think we're all racist, and they think we're all toxic. So, join me in part 2 is show examples of actual people being toxic, and then let's leave off part 1 with Henry Cavill talking about and also showing us how passionate is actually what we are. Not racist, not homophobic, not sexist, not any ist, and also don't listen to feminists because they're just gonna rape you and ruin your life. Yee.
Love that moment.
Thank you very much.
There's something really interesting with this character that I find fascinating, which is that he genuinely really does just want to do the right thing. But everywhere he goes, whether it's a new town or a new bar, people just kind of give him a hard time and they rag on him despite the fact that he has great intentions. I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, like you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate. And it's something which I have obviously had to come to terms with over the years. And for me, with the comparison is not like that with Geralt walking into a bar. The comparison is more meta. It's more to do with xenophobia and sexism and colonialism and all those effects that has on people, and then who they divert their fear and energy towards, and that tends to be Geralt, because he's a guy who exists outside of society. He's not part of a group when he walks into town, and he looks so different from everyone else, and no one can control him.
Yeah.
He is faster, stronger, better at swords, and apparently can do magic as well. So the last thing you want to do is, you can't control him, and you fear him, and therefore all of your energy, especially in a crowd of people, will be diverted at him because of everything that's happening above you in the world.
Fair enough. Really quick.
Okay, dudes, if I'm wearing this, it's been this freaking serious. Okay, man, I've had enough of this toxicity, actual toxicity, not what they think is toxicity, of fans, literally freaking Raylo fans talking to you guys. Just leave those guys alone. The drivers are freaking fine. Need to heck each other. You guys need to go heck each other. Freaking weirdo Raylo fans. Anyway, we're part to the next section of this video where my dudes where last section you're gonna put together. And talking about toxic fans and what one of my friends online, when he saw online with fans and their stuff. And then we're gonna talk about that in this next part. Our friend's not gonna be on camera. They want to show his face, and I'm just gonna ask him questions. What kind of stuff he's seen or Pokemon's about the Pokemon Sword and Shield, the one controversial game that's been out a bunch this year. What do you think? What kind of stuff have you experienced? I know you say you haven't looked, you haven't experienced it yourself, but you're just seeing it online, right? What kind of stuff have you experienced before?
Well, from what I've seen, that some fans that do not like the game have been harassing the developers on their personal Twitters, have been signed a petition to ban sales of Pokemon Sword and Shield here in the U.S., which, by the way, didn't work.
They already bought the games. Got it, Reed.
And just outright harassment to any fan that would buy the game.
Ooh, has that been on their YouTube channels too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about them? Are they? The media would call them. Are they? You think they're actual toxic, or do you think they're just like complaining just to, because they couldn't love the fan base?
Well, some I would say would have valuable criticism, but others, like the ones that were harassing developers and other fans, those would be toxic.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because toxic fans. So there was this thing that happened a couple years ago with the Raylo fans, with the Kylo Ren and Rey, and somebody did something, hacked a bunch of information, leaked a bunch of information, their house address, their life, personal life, their child. They hoped that their child would die. They hoped that the actors that played Ren and Kylo Ren and Rey would actually get together and the wife would die. Would you say I would call that being toxic as well?
Yes, or actually just over. I don't know what it. Zealous, maybe.
Probably, yeah. I really don't like how these people just like, seriously just, the media especially, just like the thing that happened with the Joker, just another example of, part of the toxicity is like the media pushing this story of oh, the Joker, it promotes incels and gun violence. What do you think of that?
I find it really stupid because that's not true.
That's not. Me and our friend, we actually did see the Joker, and we didn't see any promotion of that. We didn't see any gun violence. Well, we saw him shoot, like, so if you haven't seen it yet, cover your ears. But there weren't like any rated R violent scenes. It was just like, it wasn't over the top, you know, right? It was just like, first scene, he kills 2 guys, chases the 3rd guy, and he doesn't kill him because he likes to. They tried to beat him up, and so he killed the people that did him wrong and stuff. And he was like, and then the media goes in and says, oh, well, the Joker, you see, it promotes gun violence, and there's incels, and there's a kid who said he is the Joker. Remember that shooter, the school shooter thing that happened before the Joker?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, so apparently there was a school shooter, and the policeman's like, what do you think, you're the Joker? Making a joke about it, and he's like, yeah, I am. And then the media just went, oh my god, the Joker's promoting gun violence. Because that one kid, I'm like, the kid said he wasn't the Joker, you're just joking. It's really, really dumb and retarded. I just think that people are just trying to, what do you think, people are just trying to get more attention because of that? Do you think they're trying to get some more clickbait and say, oh my god, it's terrible?
No, they just want to demonize entire people just based on what they like.
Yeah. I like offensive comedy. I'm pretty sure you like offensive comedy too, right?
Nah, I haven't really heard it.
Oh, well, I like comedy in the 80s and like, well, where it makes fun of everybody. Nobody gets left out. If you want inclusivity, you got comedy right there that just pokes fun at white people's blacks and yellows and purples and whatever else. I like that. And if you go and say, you can't make fun of that, isn't that sort of, what do you think, kind of censoring, sort of? You think?
If they don't include someone.
Hmm? Like, is it censorship if you say, oh, I'm gonna ban you because you made fun of a white person? Well, they make fun of white persons all the time, so.
I wouldn't know.
Hmm.
That's my specialty.
I think it's, so, let's see, I'm trying to think of another good, so this whole toxic thing is like Henry Cavill said, fans have a right. Do you agree that fans have a right to criticize, like, The Last Jedi and when the Star Wars movie comes out, that Star Wars movie, do you think they have the right to do that? Because I believe they do.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna go see it, and if I say it's bad, it's my opinion. And if you say it's bad, it's your opinion. It's no one else's opinion. And it's like, it's bad. Well, then you're a sexist. You're a racist and a homophobe. What do you think? Should Disney have done something about Ryan Johnson and stuff? Because they didn't really stop him at all. They just kind of let him do his thing on Twitter. What do you think they should have done
As
about it?
long as we're on the move out for him, then of course they won't do anything.
No, they won't. And then, of course, you got the thing where he deleted every single one of his tweets when people were like, hey, Ryan, you just called us out for... Well, when we called him out for it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. I didn't do such thing as bully the fans. And then a bunch of his tweets are gone, so... But people still have them. They still got them screenshotted, man. You can't get erased from the internet forever, Ryan Johnson. Mr. Sir Roundhead. Back to the Pokemon Sword. Have you seen anything else that people have done?
Oh, those Twitter hashtags of hashtag Game Freak lied and hashtag the fuck Game Freak.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. What did those do, like, to...
What do they do?
Yeah.
Basically condemning Game Freak of lying about reusing assets, but yet all companies do reuse assets from time to time, so it's fine for them to do it, but when it comes to Game Freak, nope.
Didn't
That is
Legend...
morally wrong.
Yeah. In 2000, Majora's Mask came out. Then they used the same Ocarina of Time engine, and nobody read and screamed about that, did they?
Nope.
So why are they doing it now, today? Why are they doing it to the Pokemon games? Oh, the new one.
Because it's the highest grossing media franchise, and people have high expectations for games.
Ooh. That makes sense.
So if they don't meet their expectations, and they just
Mhm.
trash talk it a lot.
Oof. the thing about Last Jedi is a bunch of those. We didn't really have high expectations. We just I hope it to be a good movie. You know, right? Like nobody has a list of, like I said in the first section of this video, nobody has a list of things to check. So like I hope Luke's good. Like you're just gonna go with it. You don't. There's not really a checklist every fan has with him, or else it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun to have a checklist and like, oh yeah, all my things got fulfilled. I love that movie. You just kind of hope for the best and hope everybody just, just I hope that movie turned out good. So and I saw a couple things of. Same with, the actors have started to actually kind of slam The Last Jedi and say, oh well, yeah, this actually is really a bad movie. Mark Hamill didn't like Luke Skywalker. He called him Jake Skywalker. So, I'm like, ooh.
What, for just that movie or just them playing it in general?
For how Ryan Johnson wanted old Luke portrayed. He's like, Jedis don't give up. A Jedi stands up again no matter what happened to him. And he's like, Mark's like, this is Jake Skywalker. This isn't my Skywalker, and that's where the hashtag Not My Skywalker was born. And then I'm like, I've always wanted to put that on my Twitter thingy, because it's really not Luke Skywalker. You saw the movie, right? And like that wasn't Luke Skywalker. That was a Chinese knockoff brand of Luke. With
Chinese knockoff brand.
Supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not. Ryan Johnson, apparently he only saw one of the movies, which is episode 5. And shows how much he knows. Unless if he watched more while we're here sitting here talking, but probably not. He's like, I like episode 5. I think that episode 5 was pretty great. It would have gotten roasted though. He actually is that's actually one of his favorite words to use is, Empire Strikes Back would have gotten roasted if Han Solo went down for the fight. And I'm like, you didn't watch the movie, dude. You just watched in part of it, I bet. Anything else that you've seen the fans do to the Pokemon game?
Oh yeah, hashtag Dexit. Because not all Pokemon were in it.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
So that's the Game Freak cut more than like half the decks.
Yeah, the thing about that is, if I understand, you can't have your cake, you need it too, right? It's like if you're asking, let's see, Game Freak listens to the fans, and pretty sure this, right? They listen to your fans,
Yeah.
and they say, okay, well, they want this year, but the thing is, the decks are gonna take up most of the room. We can't have the decks, and aren't the animations pretty good?
Yeah, some are practically just the same as the 3DS era.
But if they would have more decks, that would take more visuals. That would take. Pretty sure they have everything. If I'm not mistaken, don't they plan everything out first on the calendar and then have a release date they're gonna do? So if say they've been how many years have they been working on this
3
game?
years.
3 years. Okay.
Ever since Sun Moon's Ways.
Okay, so if they took the fans' ideas and let's say they have a 3-year thing and they have only 3 years to work on it. Let's say they have their times. That means if they did add all the decks, wouldn't they be pushed back a bunch of more months then? Like if you say, I'm gonna release another Star Wars movie 5 years later, it takes you 5 years to work on it, and then you listen to a bunch of people, but let's say their ideas are crap, like freaking Raylo fans, and then you're gonna get pushed back, right? You just be like, then people are gonna hate your movie because you listened to Raylo fans and had a bunch of weird sex drama stuff in your movies, and then no one's gonna like it because now you got these people who are like, huh, what did I just watch? You watched a movie about Raylo and having sex and kids and then gross things. It was, like I said, is there anything else that you saw too?
Nothing I think of.
So Dexit, you got the Dexit here, you got the, you said there was hashtag.
Which, by the way, Dexit is nothing like the actual term for Brexit. Or
Yeah.
the actual topic of Brexit.
Oh, it's nothing like it?
Nope.
Were they gonna act, how come they called it that? Were they gonna just,
Because the Galar region's based off of the United Kingdom.
that makes sense. So, they're just gonna call like, hey, let's make a parody, right? Like a, so they were not. Now, do you think the people who are criticizing it and harassing those the members, do you think they were actually gonna go out and buy the games? Do you think they're out there buying the games just to hate play it or hate watch?
Who knows?
Because at this point, with movies with political correctness and women empowerment and tearing down men and tearing down themselves as well, because, like I said a day ago about something, if you tear down the male characters, you're also tearing down the female characters, which makes everybody in the room look terrible. You don't want to do that. You don't want to tear down both genders, because then you're just like, oh yeah, this is great, but also this is terrible. So this is not great at all. It's tearing down both sides, and I just think that you shouldn't be don't harass people. Don't just basically. I don't advocate for violence. Don't go to Adam Driver's house and creepily watch him through the windows. It's weird, and don't kill people. Obviously, it's obvious, but
Just because they have different points in view and actually want their franchise or whatnot to succeed.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you gotta go and say, I hate this. Like I said, at least Game Freak isn't calling people names and calling people man babies, man childs. Leave that to Disney and their executives, because apparently they're not gonna stop the directors from doing that. They're just not gonna do anything. If I was the head of Disney, I would be like, hey, Ryan, Mr. Johnson, sir, get your head out of your balls and quit doing that. You're literally alienating half the fan base, which he kind of did. He's like, in an interview I saw, he's like, yeah, I like to make movies that divide the fan base and also movies that the people love. So I feel like he purposely went and made this movie to divide people, because he's like, I like to make movies that divide people. Good for you. You did a great job, Mr. Johnson, of dividing the fan base, because I said, I never liked The Last Jedi. There's some good parts, but it was like, but then they were just, yeah, terrible.
Really, the only good parts were those little creatures that were with Chewbacca.
Haha. Oh yeah, the little porgs, and Chewie was just like roasting the, and then the porg's just like, oh no, my brother, he's roasting it.
Well, not just that, the whole thing of when the Chewbacca did fly the flag and we were just one going, yay!
That was a pretty good part. And for those of you who are talking about Baby Yoda, Anita Sarkeesian, Baby Yoda isn't a real character. He's fake. Why do you have to ruin? Why do feminists have to ruin franchises? Well, ruin The Mandalorian. So if you guys want to talk about that in the next video, we make one video about that. But I'll see you guys next video, and hope you guys have a good day. And may the Force be with everybody, because we're gonna need a lot, because you never know how movies are gonna turn out. Maybe everybody's gonna become woke men, you know, just walking around. I'm so woke right now. I'm such a silly boy. Oh, my balls are gone now. They're shrunk to like Raisin Brands.
Raisin brains.
Yep. Well, see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.